So in preparation of this Evelyn video, I've decided to become a full-blown thought. That being said, if you go ahead and check out Bricky08 on Instagram, you can find all sorts of thoughterly, thought-provoking ideas and nudes. Please follow me, I'm dying. So you want to main Evelyn? Well, do you like breathing? Do you like the inhalation of oxygen? Do you like the exhalation of carbon dioxide? Do you enjoy the necessary human action for survival? And do you like being that hoe over there? Then Evelyn, Agony's Embrace is for you.
My pleasure, your pain. Love me. Hope you like it rough. Hey there. Oh, yes. Cry for me, honey. Yes. Yes.
You know what I think is kind of interesting?
What?
They don't let you know who Evelyn's voice actress is.
I don't blame them, honestly.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. It's withheld purposely, but
yeah,
I do admit it's kind of funny. Evelyn, she a thought, but before, she was a demon. A formless creature with no name, no appearance, just a thing existing. During her existence, the Rune Wars began. A massive catastrophe of war where countless people died, and it filled this demon with all kinds of excitement and nourishment. But the Rune Wars soon ended, and this feeding was waning. But she now had a form. A demon with pincers, claws, and could kill animals easily, but she thrived for the suffering of humans. However, she would need to assume a form pleasing to humans, one where she can get as close to them as possible. So of course, Sexy Lady was the obvious choice. Now she stalks from the shadows until she finds someone worthy, someone happy, who has a ton to lose, and then commits her thoughterly. This is a tad of an understatement too. She is very unkind. Flaying of the skin, gouging of the eyes, tearing off limbs. Whatever makes you hurt the most is what she does. She has a small little mini story about how she stalked a man to his home, and once she found out he had a wife and kids, she decided to kill him right as they came down so they could all watch it happen. Whatever is the most fucked up, she does. In-game, however, she isn't nearly as screwed up because Riot has to keep their teen rating, but she's a stalker champion, a jungler to be specific. She specializes in keeping enemies on their toes, catching them off guard, and bursting them before they know what's happening. She is a high snowball, bad early game, but strong mid-game character. She's very squishy, but if you're squishy, she will destroy you. She has a bit of a tough time in the early game though. Getting sent behind or counter jungle can be really bad for you since she doesn't really get stealth until level 6 and can be pretty scary if you get ahead. So of course, trying to push her behind is always the best option, but if she gets a kill and another one and another one, and now nobody's safe. She's invisible, making your wards useless, has a little bit of CC just in case, and she will destroy your health bar because she's basically a glass cannon and a cannon that fires cannons. I've always said, ass size is equivalent to damage dealt. Full AP Soda, Syndra, Vi, Camille, Fiora, Kayle, all these champions can be stupid amounts of damage linked to their behind. Eve is no exception. Damage. So Evelyn's passive is your wards are useless. You gain Demon Shade when out of combat, and below a certain amount of HP, you restore HP. Your HP gain is every second based on level, and the threshold of HP to activate scales with your AP. From level 6 onward, Eve gains Camo, and here's some hidden thought math. So if you're out of combat, you will pretty quickly regain health based on your level to a certain point. The more AP you have, the higher your health will go before it ends. These are all fine for the jungle and such, but what really matters is that camouflage. Camo is what makes Eve, Eve. Like Twitch or Rengar, you can be seen if you're too close, or perhaps some kind of like pink warm, but if not, you get to run around the entire map 100% of the time stealth and cause so many problems. Evelyn's Q is Anger Pillar. You launch at a skill shop, and on monsters are refund 60% of the cooldown. The next 3 auto attacks or abilities deal bonus damage on whatever you hit with that skill shot. You can reactivate it 3 times, and on reactivation you fire a line of spikes that deal damage in a line. Prioritize the nearest enemy or attack target, and here's some mad column math. Eve's Q is bread, butter, toaster, and knife. Before it was a super spam Q move, now you fire that Q out and also fire out spikes at the target with some bonus damage included for burst. It's good for jungle clear, helps you kill enemies, and it's just a basic damage spell. Let's be real, it's just very basic, but it's good. Evelyn's W is slut. You curse a champion or monster for 5 seconds. Your next auto attack or ability expunges the mark and slows them by 65%. If they're cursed for over 2.5 seconds, it charms them instead and applies magic resist reduction for 4 seconds. You deal bonus magic damage as well, and here's some skanky math. This is your gank move, basically. You want a gank, you blow them a kiss. They get about 2.5 seconds of warding before you begin barreling down on them, so they better either get the hell out of dodge or prepare for the Evelyn damage. If you really need to take someone down immediately, pop this charm and just go in. But if you want to take out a full health enemy, you gotta kind of pop the charm CC and then get all the extra damage, magic resist reduction, and so on. That's the most important part of bursting a target, is that extra magic resist shred. Plus, it's also great on monsters. Evelyn's E is whip ass. You deal single target damage that applies on hit effects. You gain 30% bonus movement speed and deal percentage HP damage as well. Gaining Demon Shade empowers the next cast. It deals increased damage and passes through multiple enemies, and get it? Whip ass? Ass? Hell yeah. Personally, I don't like Evelyn's E. However, I can 100% believe that it's just me. Between the max HP damage, the bonus movement speed, the on-hit effects, I can see it being a pretty great move. Just not as great as her other two. It seems only good when empowered, and even that is kinda in my books. Though I probably just might not know Evelyn enough. Finally, Evelyn's ultimate is Sniper French Lady. You become untargetable briefly and deal massive AoE damage in a cone. You blink back 400 units, and under 30% HP enemies take double damage, and here's some spooky screaming Evelyn sounds math. Alright. Eve's ultimate is gross. It's gross. It's mean, it's angry, it's powerful, it's just good. The AoE cone is huge, and doubling the damage is insane at the low health enemies. Look at these values. 150, 275, and 400 damage per rank, with a 75% AP ratio being doubled at low health people. This fucks you up. Not only that, but you can be pretty insanely snazzy by being slightly behind someone, ulting to get damage, and launching backwards so it's even harder for them to get away. This ult, do not underestimate it. So skill max, it's a bit tricky. For a while, I went WQE because W increased charm duration, extra bonus damage, and higher magic resist shred to make other abilities better. However, I think QWE is the better bet. Q is a solid damage tool, W is good for what I just said, and then E last because it just feels underwhelming. But then again, you could go QEW because you want your damage spells first. Honestly, I don't fucking know. Go look at pro builds or something. But how do I play Evelyn?
Not the first time I've had dragon.
So Evelyn, wow, Evelyn. She has the audacity to call Ahri a skank, and while yes, she is correct, it's still hypocritical. Now, I have a pretty good feeling that Evelyn was based heavily on the demon god Slaanesh from Warhammer 40k. Now, I love Warhammer a ton because that's one of my favorite universes, but it's just so damn similar. The god Slaanesh was born with the massive destruction of the Eldar, birthed from the pain and suffering of trillions of souls. It represents unspeakable excess in both pain, sex, torture, and feeling. Evelyn was born of the death of thousands to hundreds of thousands in the Rune Wars and looks the same. Also, before you get all jumpy into your Rule 34, do remember that Evelyn is simply a deity. As far as I know, unless Riot corrects me, she can be whatever she wants. A sexy lady, a sexy man, a fish, I don't know. As far as I know, she is a formless deity that can be whatever she pleases in the situation. She just chooses sexy lady girl because it's the easiest way to lure victims to her grasp. Men think a lot more with their dick than with their head. I am guilty of this, and it's no wonder that she preys on them the most. Granted, she's also apparently had dragons, so what the fuck do I know? Anyway, preseason is upon us. You know what that means? Everything's ruined. Every single thing is ruined. Things that were never OP are now permaban. Things that were permaban now have 40% win rates. Everything is upside down. And Evelyn, at the time of making this video, could be the most godly or the most god-awful champ you can think of. I have no idea. This type of stuff takes a couple weeks. 1 week she can be godly. The next one she can be horrible. Bro, I don't know. If she's good right now, she won't last. She won't last. And vice versa. However, with preseason not entirely at the main focal point, I do think she's a little weak. Now, her burst damage is insane. Making wards completely obsolete and popping a W is really terrifying. Getting the charm, extra damage, and magic resist does a ton of burst damage, but the problem is that's all you have. If you play Evelyn, you best pray to God your laner isn't handicapped, because if they are, you're screwed. You do so much burst damage, don't get me wrong, but once you use it, you've got zip. So let's run it down. Mid. You sneak around. You proc your W. You use your empowered E or Q to pop the charm. You land the Q or E, use the hate spike 3 times, and maybe, if you have to, you ult. If you don't have your ultimate, then you're okay, you're fine. But if you don't, everything has such a massive cooldown. You won't be using your W again, so that's out of the question. Your E won't be used again, and the damage is minimal if it's not empowered. So all that's left is your Q, and the damage of your Q is actually laughable. You can blow up 50% of anyone's health in the entire game. But once you blow your combo, you are useless. The only time you're not useless is with your ultimate. It makes it so you need to use your ult for every kill you do solo, because I will admit your ultimate destroys fools, but that's the most it can do. You use that ultimate to secure a kill or hop backwards so that you can use your other abilities again, because there's a little bit more time to get those cooldowns back. If you don't have your ultimate, just hope that your laner is smart and can keep doing damage. Evelyn needs follow-up damage. Sure, you can get a lot of kills, but you're not gonna last at all. She needs something to do after her initial attacks, but she doesn't. So either hope you're fed enough to one-shot people, or hope your laner is smart. And then, let's discuss how to make big dig plays. So early jungle starts, you need to power farm. You're probably gonna be garbage until 6, so get as many camps as you can, and of course, gank if they're really pushed, but mainly get to level 6 ASAP. During the mid-game area, your ganks are very good. Run around the map, warding and destroying as many wards as you can to deny vision. Keep your enemies guessing where you are. Catch-up XP isn't as high right now, so make sure you're still farming plenty, or else you might get pretty far behind. Evelyn getting behind is the #1 worst thing that can happen to her, so please be careful. Finally, late game is probably one of the hardest late games for champions. If someone is alone, you can pick them probably very easily if you have most of your items. If silly Caitlyn is solo farming, then so long as there isn't any control wards, you can probably take her out. If they travel in groups, as they should, you're gonna be useless. The best thing you can do, especially in team fights, is to try and flank behind the enemy so you can take out their squishies. Charm, ult, and hopefully you do enough damage to help your team. But with the day and age of shields and heals and shields and heals, just pray the game is over before late game. One thing I will say is that lower tier elos like bronze and silver and such, Evelyn's probably a much better pick, mainly because people don't know how to rotate. Everyone is all top lane trying to push, and then they're 80 carries down bot lane trying to farm, and you can be like, oh, okay, I'll just take this 80 carry then. Now that runes are different, I present to you 2 separate theory crafted builds. The first one is a solid burst build, domination and sorcery, taking electrocute. Second one is an experimental sorcery domination style that focuses on burst in different areas. I haven't experimented much with the second one, but the first one is definitely very, very good. For builds, a ton of AP is perfect. Lots of AP all over the place is the best and makes me very happy, and it'll make you happy. For Evelyn skins, we have Ab Workout Day Evelyn, Stunning Evelyn, Goldfinger Evelyn, and Sneaky Stealthy Evelyn. And finally, before I go, here are the usual Evelyn clips. Enjoy. Do anything! Do anything! No. I thought she'd last longer.
Give me.
I didn't get anything. I'm going.
Yeah, well, I spent my actual TP down here, so.
I pressed Q.
If you had gotten something, I would have been a little bit tilted off.
No, I didn't even get an assist though.
I don't care. So.
What
doing here?
are you?
Oh, Bricky. Orchid 8. Goes in.
That's my name. Shit, I lost Dragon.
What else?
GG, well played.
Ah, shit. So let's wrap up Evelyn. She's a bit weak at the moment, but that's more due to her damage numbers and not her actual kit or meta. She has amazing bursts, some of the best bursts in the game, but has a very hard time doing anything past that point. Unlike the old Evelyn, where you could just keep on pressing Q and never stop, this Evelyn does way more damage in the beginning, but has very little after. What will be nice if she could have increased scaling or divert some power into her post burst combo to make her more efficient. At the moment, if she's fed, she can 100-0 someone, but that's very rare at the time. Mostly, you'll probably do about 80% of their health, and then have nothing but auto attacks for a little bit. So in that case, let's hope she sees some buffs soon, or at least some tweaks to her numbers, because granted, she is really fun to play. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed this So You Want to Main Evelyn. Came out earlier than I thought, but hey, that's what happens when you're engaging in thoughterry. My name is Bricky. If you buy a loot crate from my sponsor, I'll make sure to bless all of your games with good fortune and a high creep score. Please buy it. And also don't fuck up my solo queue. Tee hee. Bye-bye.